The original World of Warcraft was released on November 23, 2004. Like Warcraft 3, the game had standard and collector's editions. The 2004 Collector's Edition still is extremely valuable. It included a lot of perks inside. The in-game perk is one of 3 unique pets. Currently, each of them is extremely rare. Another perk was the Behind the Scenes DVD. It was an exclusive DVD featuring game trailers and developer commentary. The most interesting part, even from a modern perspective, was the Extra Features section. This is one of the videos from the Extra Features section, with improved audio and video quality. Also, subtitles in multiple languages are available. Please use the CC button to enable them. If you enjoy this video, please consider supporting Clever Play channel with a like, comment, share, or even a cup of coffee. Behind the Scenes, Part 7, Dungeons and Architecture.
Dungeons and Architecture was an amazing area to work with. With the Warcraft world, you were never really, in a lot of the Blizzard games, you never really got to enter the world. You were never able to go inside of the city and adventure within the tavern. And it was exciting to work with the team and actually entering the world, opening that door to that crypt and going into that temple and seeing this whole new world in there. And we had a lot of freedom involved in that, and a lot of the artists got to really use their imaginations and pull from things that didn't exist before, and were able to mesh that into the world. And it was really exciting to see this whole other world, part of Warcraft that people haven't seen before. And that was truly amazing to see.
It was really exciting to see each city come online. I think everyone was really excited to see, what the next city is going to look like, because they're all so different. The Dead Mines really set the bar for the rest of the dungeons and the interiors.
It's not just an area you just go in now and kill some stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of little interactive elements to it, almost like stories unfold as you dig deeper into it. All of a sudden, these miners look a little weirder than you were suspecting and all. I don't want to give it away or anything, but when you get to the bottom and you get to the final boss or whatever, I mean, it's just its own little epic journey that who knows how many hours it'll take you to get through.
We've never done this before. This is a totally new area for Blizzard. I know this type of game is too, but I just wanted to really say that artists that worked on this particular area, the dungeons and the cities, just did an amazing job. And early on, they went through a lot of trials and things like that, and they really came through. They really did a great job, and we really appreciate it.
We had so much Warcraft history to draw from, and so again, this was our first opportunity to translate something from the real-time strategy game to the role-playing game. So something as simple as the blacksmith structure or the human farm. Instead of the top-down little piece of art that you're used to seeing, we had to design it all, the building, the structures, what the signs outside of it look like, how someone can tell that they're in front of a blacksmith, placement of anvils and tools, and the layout of the interior of the building, what's functional. What they were able to do and the illusion they were able to create with just the flat walls and just what they were able to paint and the colors and the lighting and maximizing their assets. There probably wasn't a day that people, saw the work that they were doing and just couldn't believe that they were getting it to look like that in our engine.
That team actually pushed the rest of the art staff too. The dungeon team really just did some amazing work, and the rest of the team would see that and push to be at that level. And I remember some of the first stuff that came through that group, it was stunning. I was like, wow, that is the Warcraft style. I mean, they nailed it. It was a great job.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
The artists really push each other, to do better, and everyone thrives off that and thrives off each other.
There's a lot of history there. There is a lot of depth, and the team worked very closely with Chris Metzen and other people in the company to make sure that these elements are tried and true, and they actually took those ideas and ran with them, and they've done just an amazing job. They're very, very particular about, gameplay. It was pretty exciting to see that.
I'd say early on with our dungeons too, it was difficult to get that organic look. We tried a number of different programs early on, different methods of building, and ultimately we got it, but it was definitely a challenge. We spent some time trying to determine what the size of the city was going to be. I mean, we didn't know how big a city should be. I mean, are people going to get lost? What's a good size? What feels right without getting lost but doesn't feel too small?
And it's still epic and exciting to venture into and stuff. Yeah. And I think in the end, they ended up putting dungeons and little instance areas where people would actually have to go to a city to fight and stuff like that. So, they have more of a function than just, this is where you go to sell your items or buy your goods.
In my mind, I can look at some of the dungeons that I'm just thinking about right now, and I'm just clearly just the definitive look they have for the Night Elves is so different than the humans, just the lighting values and the color schemes are different, and how more organic the Night Elves are than the humans. And it's like, yeah, you can relate more to the humans, but when you see that orc, city of Orgrimmar, it's just like, you just want to explore that.
If you go into Stormwind, the opening gate is huge and oversized. You cross the bridge, it's lined with all the heroes. There were concepts for it, and then it was built and put in the game, and tried to just hit you over the head, make it memorable, make the silhouette of the parapets and the towers, and really striking and resemble the race.
I think another big thing too is everyone has their favorite city, whether it's the Undercity or Stormwind or Ironforge or Orgrimmar or Darnassus. We want all the cities to be on the same level. Obviously we wanted Ironforge to be super memorable, and we wanted Darnassus to be exactly that too. And it was kind of funny to see how people were like, they would rank all the cities, and then, this one would move up a couple rankings, and it's nice to see that, all the cities really just turn out fantastic. I mean,
and we have Thunder Bluff too.
I forgot about Thunder Bluff, yeah.
Massive sort of mesa structure, which is just beautiful.
Exactly. I mean, just when you think dungeon is this dark hole in the ground, you go to a city like Thunder Bluff, and it just blows you away, because it's just not what you expect. I mean, you don't expect to see giant windmills and these just amazing looking architecture, these teepees, and it's just, I mean,
totems and
big, yeah, it's really a treat to see. I know a lot of time in development, you work on a project like this for a long time, and you're so close to it, you don't really appreciate it as much because you're just so close to it. But with this project, it's like every once in a while you see something that just really inspires you, and the team really worked hard, and some of this stuff is just so memorable.
I think it was kind of neat too, because each city would set the bar a little bit more. Ironforge would get created, and they would say, wow, that's amazing. I think we should go back and revisit Darnassus now. And then we'd spend weeks on redoing Darnassus or parts of it, and then they would come back and go, Orgrimmar could really use some touching up now. And it was constantly, I mean, even, we're getting close to shipping or whatever, and we're still revisiting the cities. We're still constantly just keep outdoing each other. And so it's this great cycle in the end. It's just gonna, make for more fantastic environment.
I think that's true for the whole game. This is a game of iteration. I mean, everything has been touched and retouched again and again to make it better and better.
This world has always been sort of divided by the Alliance and the Horde. We've always had the orcs and the humans clashing together, and now, as the franchise grows, we have more and more races that are becoming involved with the conflict and taking sides. So we really wanted to get across that this world, sort of the world itself, felt divided, that within the Alliance lands, you got a lot more of sort of a lush, beautiful forest and valleys, fields, jungles. It's very colorful and beautiful most of the time. You'll find this very inviting and warm. As opposed to that, you'll run through the Horde lands, and you'll find that there's this very desolate theme of sand and rock and just brushy barrens, and they're even named as such. You have the Thousand Needles and
the
Barrens, and yeah, I mean, we even like to the names themselves, we really push sort of that flavor. It's just a very overall theme. I think anyone's really going to pick up on that as soon as they decide to play Alliance or Horde. They're going to see a very big contrast.
I think of the Alliance, you think of lush and green. You think of the Horde and orcs, you think of, dusty red and orange. And that's, to make, each region of the world just exceptionally iconic.
If you enjoy this video, please consider supporting Clever Play channel by liking, commenting, sharing, or even buying us a cup of coffee.